I keep having the same dream. Everywhere I look, people are being replaced. The last time I had the dream, I was walking down the school hallway. And that's when I started to notice that something's wrong. Everyone I cared about has been systematically replaced. Why are they replacing every single character with someone who is diverse? It's like, it's not our fault, it's because of Kathleen Kennedy. But then Kathleen Kennedy says, put another gay diverse woman in it, make it more fun. And then Bob Iger is all like, no, it's going to be my stars. No, Kathleen Kennedy. Ah!
Nerdrotic.com.
I don't think I'm going out on a limb here by saying that the pandering in Hollywood and the entertainment industry overall is way past the point of absurdity. It's almost difficult to make a parody of it. I guess the best example would be Director X's, who I like to call Projector X's, Robin Hood. I don't think that show was meant to be hilarious, but it is.
You look goofy.
Sure, Jan.
There's too many to count, but the recent examples are Little Mermaid, Snow White, a black female Viking queen, and the retconning of history with Cleopatra and Amber Lynn. But you know, things have gotten pretty bad for Tinseltown overall, and in particular Disney and with Kathleen Kennedy when South Park gets around to making an episode about you. Now, they have roasted Hollywood many times in the past, but they were very specific in joining the Panderverse. And one could argue that an episode like this is long overdue. Woke Hollywood has been some of the lowest hanging fruit and comedy gold that a lot of comedians were too scared to pick, but better late than never. Did they go in strong? Yes, but towards the end, they pulled some punches, and I'll say up front, I thought they were soft on Bob Iger, Kathleen Kennedy towards the end, and her critics. And while this episode definitely does roast Disney and Kathleen Kennedy, I think it's far more critical of Marvel and Hollywood overall. I would also argue that this is a bit of a cultural moment that needed to happen, and it wasn't all from this episode. Yes, South Park was very critical of Disney, but that criticism didn't end until the night the episode aired and Gina Carano dropped a nuclear bomb on Kathleen Kennedy. We'll get to that. So join me, you over 872,000 practitioners of common sense and the 40% who haven't subscribed yet. Let's talk about South Park joining the Panderverse. As you know, South Park has roasted Lucasfilm prior to Disney and Disney in the past.
Somebody do something! Why are they doing this? They're just taking Indiana Jones and they're raping him! I can't watch. Let's get out of here.
Well, Indiana Jones. What you doing in our neck of the woods?
Talk to me like that.
And they've roasted Disney Marvel in the recent past.
Can we just admit this whole woke thing isn't working?
Woke thing?
Now it's like every movie and every TV show, you know, it's like you can see through it now. Audiences want to be entertained. They don't want to be preached at. And if you're just doing shows and movies that have an agenda, it's like, it's just going to keep failing.
The episode opens up with Cartman dreaming about a world where everyone he knows is replaced by diverse women who complain about the patriarchy.
Mom, I had a dream that I was replaced by a diverse woman.
Oh, not again.
Yeah, only this time, it wasn't just me. They were taking all my favorite people and replacing them with diverse women complaining about the patriarchy.
Sure, it's early on in the episode, but I'm still waiting for the parody to start. Due to these recurring dreams, Cartman lives in fear of Disney executives and one in particular, Kathleen Kennedy.
I'm scared, Mom. Will you please just look and make sure Kathleen Kennedy isn't under my bed?
Eric is also worried he's going through some kind of change.
But now I feel like I'm actually changing. Why would I be having visions that I'm a diverse woman?
Because you're a fat, racist piece of shit.
God damn it, I'm not fat. I'm just shamed for my body in a world where white men decide what's beautiful. What the f was that?
Unfortunately for Cartman, it all becomes a reality when he is replaced by a black female and transported to Universe 216B.
I swear, the multiverse is just an excuse for lazy writing.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's like every damn movie now.
Where he's stuck in a world where everyone has been replaced by diverse women who complain about the patriarchy.
Dude, Kenny, enough about Tammy's knockers. You sound like a white male trying to reestablish the patriarchy.
This episode features a diverse female Cartman,
This is bullshit. How do you get your mom arrested for child abuse?
a diverse female Stan,
Well, maybe you should try not being so racist, Cartman.
a diverse female Kyle,
Yeah, bitch, you just want to get sent home so you can play Baldur's Gate 3.
a diverse female Kenny,
Tammy Mullins has sweet f***ing knockers.
a diverse female Mr. Garrison,
Today we're going to talk more about female exclusion in the male patriarchy.
diverse female versions of Jimbo and Ned,
Hey, who's that, Ned?
I'm not sure.
a diverse female Butters, and
Butters, why didn't you answer this door? Oh, hey, Dad.
the episode also features Bob Iger, Kathleen Kennedy, another Kathleen Kennedy, and a MacGuffin, the Panderstone. Obviously, South Park is one of the few shows, if not the only show remaining, that equally takes shots at all sides, including the critics of Kathleen Kennedy. And just in case you're new to the channel, I would include myself in that party.
Could you check under my bed and make sure Kathleen Kennedy isn't there? Butters, what have I told you about being more mature? I can assure you Kathleen Kennedy is not under your bed.
She gonna get me! She gonna get me!
Call me crazy, but I think this one is directed at a specific group of people.
You start getting piles and piles of hate mail, endless messages calling you the C word. You can't think straight.
Well, I'm sorry I wrote all those letters. They probably was a bit much.
No, I got like 10,000 letters a day.
I was doing more like 12 to 13,000, especially after the new Indiana Jones came out.
They even include some of our talking points.
Eric Cartman is in here all the time getting in trouble.
That's because I'm from a different universe. How many times do I have to tell you people? The Disney company tried to use their platform to bring about social change, and I got fed.
And part of the genius of South Park in this particular episode, especially in the beginning, is they could be roasting both sides at the same time. I guess the stark difference between Kathleen Kennedy, Disney, Hollywood, and the critics, and I'll speak for myself, is I am not above criticism. I welcome it. I expected it in this episode, and I'll have to say that I was left wanting more. Now, they did skewer Disney.
I'm just saying, isn't it possible that we here at Disney pandered so much that we've opened a doorway to the Panderverse?
The Panderverse is just a theory.
And yet we do have the Panderstone downstairs.
And there was some criticism of old Bobby Iger.
Something is wrong with the universe. Our stocks are down and every Disney movie this year has failed.
We don't understand it, sir. We keep making the same movie over and over and pandering to everyone, but suddenly it's not working.
Then we've got to pander harder.
Miss Kennedy, you're back.
Great to see you, ma'am.
Thanks, you guys. We have a lot of changes to discuss at the company. From now on, we're only going to make original content that doesn't pander.
Sure we will, Kate. Sure we will.
But old Bobby Iger got away with a light touch. Now, I would have written him like he is, a former weatherman who just likes to buy everything, but that's just me.
I love Lamp. I love Lamp.
Now, most of the focus is on Kathleen Kennedy, but to be fair, a lot of the stuff that was thrown at her is conflated with everything that's wrong with, for example, Disney Marvel.
I don't care what you saw, Butters. There's gotta be a better explanation than just this stupid multiverse. Some multiverse stuff is cool. Yeah, it can be cool for like one movie. Now it's just this cheap device that people use to breathe life into tired franchises.
Space-time portal is manifesting. Panderverse quantum fields are aligned.
Yeah, that sounds like typical multiverse gobbledygook.
What do we know about the Panderverse?
I'm afraid we know frighteningly little.
Can you imagine it? An infinite number of universes with infinite combinations of pants and shirts. What do you think about multiple universes now, boys?
Yeah, they're pretty fucking stupid.
There is another very good example that you can lay at the feet of Kathleen Kennedy and the other executives in corporate Hollywood, their use of their shilling and able partners in the corporate access media, especially when it comes to their approach to fandom.
We're just minding our own business and she keeps saying she's Eric Cartman.
Okay, and what's wrong with that?
What's wrong is it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, I see. There's a diverse female where Cartman used to be and you don't like that.
It's not that we don't like it, it's... Don't you think that's weird?
Well, I don't see a problem with it at all. And if you boys don't think Eric can be a black woman, then maybe the problem is you.
What?
But it doesn't end there. They really do take shots at everybody, including corporate America.
No! Oh my God! Please, no! No!
And America.
Hello, welcome to Shitty Woke. Can I take an order, pre?
We're just having tea, thank you.
Okay, you just want a tea and talk about shitty male-dominated society. That's fine.
And no, I'm not sure what the difference is. Then we get to South Park's guest of honor, Kathleen Kennedy, who does get the brunt of the criticism through most of the episode, but not all, through two characters. And that's the beauty of this show. They use Cartman as plausible deniability. They used him to represent a portion of the fandom, like it or not. And there's Cartman Kennedy, who represents the very worst aspects of Lucasfilm. And this stuff is absolute gold.
Is there a problem, people?
We were just discussing ideas of what to do with the new Prince Eric movie.
Put a chick in it, make her gay!
Some of the execs are just expressing that maybe...
Well, that maybe we should go a different route than we did with Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, put a chick in it and make her name it gay!
And this is my personal favorite.
Kathleen Kennedy is down on set right now ruining the new Bambi movie.
But Mrs. Kennedy, Bambi's a baby deer.
Fuck baby deer, put a chick in it, make her gay!
But this is a very close second.
There you are, Miss Kennedy, the linguine and clam sauce.
Excuse me, I believe I asked you to put a chick in this and make her gay.
Yes, the chef was a little confused what you meant by that.
It means put a chick in the linguine and make her fucking gay! And I want it leg!
Then there's the real Kathleen Kennedy, who was thrown through a portal into Universe 216B by Cartman Kennedy due to her overuse of the Panderstone.
I saw the Panderstone for the first time a few years ago. An ancient piece of artificial intelligence that could be used to make the same movies over and over again while appealing to absolutely everyone.
While appealing to no one, a line that should have been in, but wasn't. It's one of the few missed opportunities in this. But I think Matt and Trey make up for that a little bit by pointing out one of our main criticisms of Hollywood overall and Disney Star Wars in particular.
I decided I would show them. I would start making movies to fight all the bigotry in our society. But instead of doing any real work, I turned to the Panderstone.
Newsflash, a Star Wars movie or a crappy D+ Star Wars show is not a platform for social change. It's supposed to be entertainment, and it's especially rich coming from a billion-dollar corporation run by multi-million-dollar executives who are ordering around millionaire adult pretenders who drive past tent cities in their shithole of a city every day and dodge fentanyl zombies to get to work and don't give them a second thought. You want to enact some social change? Take the hundreds of millions of dollars you're going to waste on a movie and a TV show that'll be forgotten in a week and feed some starving kids. Anyway, I'll also add that it probably wasn't a really good strategy to alienate and piss off half your fandom.
Then it's you! You're the one who caused all this!
You're the one who caused all this!
I wouldn't have tried to fight racism with the Panderstone if you hadn't written all those letters!
I wouldn't have written all those letters if you haven't tried to fight racism with the Panderstone!
And this is where Into the Panderverse brings it home. Kathleen Kennedy ends up being just a sweet old lady who wanted to make great entertainment, but she got upset from all the fan criticism and decided to double down.
I know you care about all things Disney. I'm sorry I was so reckless with the things that you love. It was just lazy.
Oh, if it were only that simple. You know what? If Kathleen Kennedy came out and said something like that 3 or 4 years ago, Disney Star Wars might still be alive. And that's followed up with Cartman apologizing to Kathleen Kennedy and saying that railing on woke stuff all the time is lazy too. I was expecting a shot like that from South Park, and we were not disappointed. Listen, they're not going to get into the nuances of the arguments on this channel or any other when it comes to the Star Wars fandom and all the complaints of woke Hollywood, which are very legitimate. That's why they made this episode. So everyone returns to their respective universes.
Oh, yo, bitch, you killed Kenny! You fat hoe!
And all is right with the world, South Park's and ours, because we needed this. I would call it a classic despite its flaws. Sure, there was some missed opportunities. Again, they could have gone a lot harder on Iger concerning the stock, the overall health of the company, and their little skirmish in Florida. Maybe they're saving Kevin Feige for a sequel because most of the Panderverse is happening in Disney Marvel right now, and they're the ones still making movies and Disney Star Wars isn't. And while Matt and Trey did mention that some of the fans were racist, they completely failed to mention that Disney did things like shrink John Boyega's fin on the Force Awakens poster for China, covered up Chadwick Boseman's face on the Black Panther poster for China, and thanked a camp that you concentrate in China. Not to mention all the alphabet stuff that gets edited out of their films for other countries. But I can't imagine Kathleen Kennedy is too happy with this, especially when she sees headlines like this from Deadline. South Park skewers Lucasfilm boss Kathleen Kennedy in Panderverse special. But the criticism doesn't end there. While South Park slung some arrows at Kathleen Kennedy, Gina Carano dropped a bomb on her. Gina Carano dropped this on Twitter the night the episode came out. This is the part where Kathleen Kennedy demands any YouTubers get censored off YouTube for sharing and laughing at this hilarious episode. She'll have YouTube disable the thumbs down option because of the ratio she'll receive. Then she'll have her publicist ghouls make sure Variety and Hollywood Reporter run hit pieces about the South Park creators and their families, smearing their name through every useful idiot she has under her thumb who would sell their soul to work for Lucasfilm. She'll activate her online mob to repeat that the South Park creators are racist, bigot, transphobes, and demand that South Park creators publicly apologize by using words she approves of. And finally, she'll demand they subject themselves to a re-education course of 45 people in the LGBTQ community Zoom call to sit there and listen of how badly they got their feelings hurt all over a little boop of a South Park episode. But maybe, just maybe, the jig is up. Whoa. Damn, you go, girl. That sounded cathartic. Now, some of that was public knowledge and some of it wasn't, but Gina wasn't done. Now, Gina is responding here to some Star Wars shill who has me blocked, and I'm not going to bother to see what he says because I don't really care. And we're not going to read this whole thing. I just want to read some highlights. For some added context, not just for you, but for the people reading, one of the things your overlords, being Disney, asked me to do was to unfollow certain accounts because they said bad things about Kathleen Kennedy. That was a huge red flag for me. Gina mentions that with anything in entertainment, quote-unquote haters or critics or legitimate criticism is part of the game, and maybe you should just have a thicker skin. If you are a proper good leader, you'll learn how to embrace and communicate, not dictate and silence and demand your actors and directors unfollow and shame more than half of your fan base and the people who have stuck with your franchise for decades. Ouch. Your Disney overlords tried to hide behind the two opposing fan bases fighting each other instead of taking responsibility. So they encourage the hate, all while virtue signaling they are standing up for minorities, but instead using them as a shield and a weapon. Funny enough, just how our government works. Based.
You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
Gina Carano going scorched earth on Kathleen Kennedy, and I am here for it. Now, I encourage you go to her Twitter and read the whole thing, and I guarantee you there's a lot more to this story that she would love to tell, and hopefully someday we hear it. But thanks to Gina, we got the exclamation point that we didn't get in South Park's Joining the Panderverse. But enough from me, let's go to the people. Now, we can't go to the critics on Rotten Tomatoes because none of them reviewed Joining the Panderverse. 5 stars from Mr. Manzarelli, right up there with the best South Park episodes. I was hoping Disney doubles down so we get an even wilder part 2. Yeah, we'll see if they get around to Disney Marvel. Kevin Christ C for 5 stars. They said what they needed to say. Enough is enough. Hollywood needs to stop shoving DEI down our throats and just focus on good storytelling. Wow, what a bigot. Eric P for 4.5 stars. It's doing a fair job of showing things that have gone wrong in the entertainment industry and trying to describe how the situation came about. While it will doubtless offend some specific individuals, Kathleen Kennedy, I could not describe it as toxic. Unlike certain other movies, i.e., the most recent movies from Hollywood and Disney, it's actually working to shed light on the subject in a positive way. Considering that the Hollywood pandering has been going on for years and the limited time of the episode, Eric, I would say that's a fair assessment. G. Leja F for 4.5 stars. Amazing, hilarious satire. This episode shows everyone, and especially all of those Hollywood big-name studios, exactly the point of why their projects keep flopping over the last years. I hope this is a wake-up call. Nonetheless, it's one of the best episodes of the show I've seen in a while. You know, I wouldn't be holding out for that wake-up call, especially from Disney. And we'll end it here. Michael S for 5 stars. I haven't laughed so hard in a long time. Satire has always been, and I'm sure he meant to say, the best form of social commentary. People need to stop being offended at everything and learn to laugh, because we sure screwed ourselves. And Michael is right, and that is exactly why South Park is such a good thing, and that's what I try to do here, taking the piss out of a very self-serious Hollywood. And I do believe satire and mockery of all institutions helps achieve balance, something we need to return to because we are dangerously close to parody world. And some unsolicited words of advice for bigwig Hollywood executives. Say, for example, you're in charge of one of the most valuable intellectual properties of all time, and you can't handle a little criticism. Maybe the job isn't for you. If you can't handle being called out for what is the very definition of the bigotry of lowered expectations, obvious pandering,
then maybe the problem is you.
Ultimately, this show did what it was supposed to do. It made me laugh a lot. Mission accomplished. And we're openly having a conversation about all the pandering in Hollywood. This is something we couldn't do a couple of years ago. So yes, I think that's a good thing. And no, I don't think we have to worry about Kathleen Kennedy being under our bed.
Protect these characters. Make sure that they still continue to live in the way that you created them. Development is a complicated, long-term process.
I hate you! You're gonna! I hate you! I hate you!
Nerdrotic.com.
If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, I thank you for listening this long. I will see you in the next video.